In February 2026, the United States and Israel initiated direct military strikes against Iranian targets, triggering a sudden geopolitical escalation across the Middle East. These strikes immediately threatened global maritime infrastructure, specifically choking vital sea routes like the Strait of Hormuz through direct attacks on commercial vessels. This chart shows the rapid spike in global oil prices during this period. Choked supply lines created an immediate economic consequence, destabilizing the cost of living for households worldwide. This cascade of crises triggers a deep-seated human instinct to view modern headlines through the lens of biblical end times prophecy. While seeking biblical answers during war is natural, applying those answers as a literal predictive timeline for current events remains a flawed approach. The Bible serves as a compass for spiritual orientation, providing a theological framework for turbulent times. The biblical text lacks modern political labels like America and provides no exact dates for the specific geopolitical events of 2026. Its actual purpose regarding war is to teach the believer how to stand firm and maintain ethical clarity while living through a repeating cycle of historical conflict. The scriptures anticipated this specific kind of world, shifting the focus from predicting the future toward understanding divine providence. A common misconception involves the simplistic equation of biblical Persia with the modern state of Iran. Geopolitical differences are significant. This map illustrates how a sprawling, multi-ethnic ancient empire compares to the geographically bound borders of the modern nation-state. Misinterpreting these differences often leads to the misuse of Ezekiel 38:5, which lists Persia in a future military coalition as a tool for inciting modern fear. Ezekiel 38 and 39 belong to the genre of apocalyptic prophecy. This style of writing relies on symbolic imagery and cosmic metaphors to reveal spiritual truths. Because it prioritizes spiritual meaning over literal reportage, reading it as a tactical military blueprint for the 21st century misapplies the text. The narrative focus of Ezekiel 38 remains the revelation of God's holiness amidst chaos, rather than the resolution of a geopolitical puzzle. The Bible portrays the Persian Empire as a vital instrument in redemptive history. Biblical history details how God used King Cyrus of Persia to end the Babylonian exile, which allowed the Jewish people to return and rebuild the Jerusalem temple. Isaiah 45:1 records a striking reality. "Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have grasped." This illustrates divine providence, where God uses secular leaders as unwitting tools for his purposes. Earthly power remains subordinate to God's sovereign plan for history. The Book of Esther depicts the Jewish diaspora facing total annihilation within the vast bureaucracy of the Persian Empire. Esther 4:14 records the belief that God operates unseen within human politics, and who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Similarly, the prophet Daniel observed the rise and fall of global superpowers, including the Medo-Persian regime. Daniel 2:21 establishes the biblical axiom that God alone changes times and seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. These mentions of literal empires prove God's grip on human history, offering believers a reliable standard during periods of instability. Modern warfare and economic collapse drive humanity toward panic. Jesus provided a countercultural command in Matthew 24:6. "And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet." War functions as a tragic symptom of a broken world, acting as a historical constant rather than a precise apocalyptic timestamp. Hebrews 12:27-28 calls believers to receive an unshakable kingdom during moments when earthly foundations are violently shaking. Believers must prioritize spiritual direction, maintain hope, and respond with love during a crisis. 2 Timothy 1:7 demands the rejection of fear in favor of power and love and self-control. 1 Timothy 2:1-2 commands the Church to actively pray for earthly leaders and governments, especially during geopolitical chaos. Matthew 5:9 calls for peacemakers, requiring the Church to offer an alternative path built on truth and peace. We must shift our focus from predictive questions to the pastoral reality of who we are praying for and what we are trusting. Christ provides the final promise in John 16:33. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world.